Becoming a reflective practitioner is important in terms of the processes that you engage with from a sort of research perspective in the classroom. And what we can consider is critical reflective inquiry in this regard. And an underpinning idea in relation to the reflective practitioner experimenting and investigating and developing from those investigations is to understand the philosophical underpinnings to reflection and criticality. And in this regard, we can talk about a critical philosophy, or in other words, the perspective of teaching that we hold and view as important, and to understand how we as reflective practitioners can alter the experience of the classroom, alter the perception of problems and issues as they arise. And therefore there are certain distortions and effects that the philosophy that we have can have on our critical reflection. And perhaps most important to think of in terms of a critical philosophy is that there therefore needs to be a component which is about freedom, about emancipation, about empowerment. The reflective practitioner who is engaging with critical reflection is somebody who experiences a good deal of freedom in terms of applying the skills and knowledge in the classroom. They are free to explore without hindering the quality of learning. And what we can consider then is that critical reflection has a number of key phases. One phase is description of the experience. Another phase is, therefore, of course, reflection, analysis and evaluation. But in terms of a critical philosophy, a significant aspect of reflection here is about freedom and emancipation, about developing competence sufficiently to be able to investigate. And we can look at this diagrammatically from the point of view of teaching products and teaching processes. The descriptive phase will define certain aspects of the reflective process. There will be things that we can examine and look at from a product point of view, or in other words, the reflections that we write down in a reflective journal. We may even look at reflective action plans, or even just review regularly lesson plans. And the processes then are our interaction with these products of reflection. There is then a reflective phase, and a product of the reflection is our growing self-awareness and understanding of our teaching role. And the processes we've discussed many times that we engage with in order to do this, the reflective cycles, the analysis process. Most importantly here in terms of critical philosophy is the emancipatory, the freedom phase. The products of this are being able to be self-critical without self-harming. And it's this emancipatory phase which means that our actions in the classroom become much more critical and much more free in terms of how we apply them with rigour and with confidence. So this phase is really moving the reflection into something which is much more significant for the reflective practitioner, much more powerful, because it really puts the reflective practitioner in charge of teaching, of their approaches and strategies. And this is due to the fact that this process of framing understanding actually helps us more easily change and develop to create and innovate in the classroom in order to develop the skills that we have to a very high level. And therefore it involves a number of discourses, a number of ways of thinking about the roles that we take on, the critical philosophy that we hold. It's very much about looking at values and beliefs as well as practices in the classroom. And it's about looking at the assumptions that we have, the intentions and the actions that take place on a day-to-day basis. And it's also about looking at the needs and interests both of the students and of the teachers within the reflective practice process.